I always say that there's never a good time to tell anybody you're positive, regardless. I mean, if you guys are already having a fight, telling somebody you have HIV isn't really going to help the fight. The right time is always, based on the situation. It's hard to find out the right time. But I mean, for me personally, I try to tell people, especially if I'm interested in dating them, before we start dating or before we start sleeping together by any means. I try to tell people before they kiss me, but sometimes that doesn't really always work out. I think young positive people can just start sharing their story and just start talking to people. I mean, I know it is an exceptionally hard thing to do, especially for the first few times. But there's so many more out there than anybody realizes. People probably know people that are positive, they just don't realize it. And that's because everybody's afraid to talk about HIV and talk about their status, talk about their story. But I feel like if everybody started sharing their story, people could start humanizing the disease a lot more and say, you know what, that person just had a bad day and that could have well have been me, and they'll start to internalize it a little bit more, and it'll make it more real for them, I think. And then everybody in general can stop talking about HIV only in Africa. I mean, I love Africa. I think we do need to offer support. But currently, when you hear about HIV in the United States, you automatically hear it followed by Africa, with the Product Direct campaign and things like that. And while I think that's a really great thing, I think we need to keep in mind that it's still an issue in the United States. That the infection rates are rather on the rise instead of decreasing, and that's a problem, clearly. In 2007, HIV in the United States is pretty much completely manageable with blood tests, with all the medications that are available to us. But you have to kind of do a self-judgment, like what kind of manageable is it, You have to go to the doctors at least, usually 3 to 6 months, depending on how healthy you are. And most times you're going to be on medications that, will make you feel disgusting for the first 2 weeks you're on them. And then, the medications will kind of rule your life a little bit in the sense that, some medications determine when and what you eat, and how late you can stay up, and, give you horrible side effects. So, yeah, it's manageable, but at what cost? I definitely want to help make HIV a more common thing. I want to help destigmatize HIV by telling my story. I want to help people that are already HIV positive feel more comfortable with who they are as people. Other than that, I want to learn how to sail, I want to learn how to fly one day, I want to go parachuting, see the world and travel and make a difference. I want to write a book. My dreams are just like everybody else's, just a little bit more grandeur with the whole I want to change the world thing. Because I actually can, hopefully. I can change one part of it.